The Mongols faced a march of more than 1,500 miles toward their goal, the cities of Bukhara and Samarkand. Their spies had told them that the Khoresm Shah had deployed his defenses along the Sir Darya River, the empire's frontier. Ghengis divided his army into 4 separate divisions, 3 of which attacked the frontier at several points at once. The 4th and largest contingent, led by Ghengis himself, crossed the Sir Darya River and then promptly disappeared. Instead of turning south toward the enemy lines, Ghengis led his army due west, straight into the Kizilkum Desert. The Kizilkum was impenetrable. There were no known waterholes, no roads, no landmarks. But Ghengis had a guide who knew a route through the wasteland. For months his contingent made its way secretly across the sands. Then in March 1218, as the defending armies used their strength against the other Mongol attacks, Ghengis suddenly emerged over 400 miles behind enemy lines, outside the walls of Bukhara. Military historians still point to it as one of the most dramatic outflanking movements in the history of warfare. Panic swept through the city, and shortly afterwards, the Bukhara garrison abandoned their posts. Once inside, Ghengis and his men galloped into what they imagined was a palace, and rode through the cloisters. When he learned that he was inside a mosque, he ordered it converted into stables. Copies of the Koran were thrown to the 4 winds, and the boxes that had held them were used as mangers. Then Ghengis mounted
sins, he would not have sent a punishment like me.
Terrified by the accounts of massacres in China, the citizens awaited their fate. Unlike that city in China, the sacking of Bukhara was disciplined and controlled. Beneath this very minaret, thousands of people were executed as a deliberate warning to others to immediately submit. The city was stripped of its treasures and a tax extracted from the wealthy families. Most of the women and children were herded off to Mongolia. Then the city walls were systematically destroyed, and refugees dispatched to spread the news that Bukhara had fallen. Ghengis Khan proved to be a master of psychological warfare. A large segment of the male population was then herded out in front of his army. With this human shield, Ghengis marched on Samarkand.